Hi, and welcome back to the Truth Tellin Podcast with Miss Keeping It Real. Today I'm doing a second segment of cancer, and today I'm talking with Miss Malaiika Menina,
Hey,
a
girl.
breast cancer survivor. So how are you today?
I'm doing great, and that I am. I'm just ecstatic to be here, and I get excited every time I hear that breast cancer survivor because my story could have
Survivor.
ended different.
Oh, okay. So tell I personally know you. So could you tell the people a little bit about you? What's your
Yes.
name and where did you grow up and how many kids? Let's see. Break it down.
Oh my goodness. So my name is Malaiika Menina. A lot of people know me by Tamu, which is the first name, and Malaiika just stuck whenever I began to transform my life. So, you know, my friend Michelle, she always say, uh, is Tamu showing up or is Malaiika? Because she already know I was a force to be reckoned with when I was Tamu.
Yeah.
I was still sweet, but, we all have our
Right.
skeletons. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I'm glad for the transformation and the change. And so with Malaiika has a new mindset, a new outlook on life. And I dug deeper and went more into what I knew God had for me all the time. And so let's back up. I'm a mom.
Okay.
A mom of 7 living children.
Okay.
One deceased son, my oldest son. Um, he passed away, Darius, and so that was the start of I really believe that was my first heartbreak.
Okay.
If
I
if
can
I,
relate.
That was my first heartbreak. But I'm a mom. I love being a mom. Having watched my kids grow up, I have a son that's now a sheriff. Just to watch how my kids have transformed despite all of the obstacles that was against us, being divorced 2 times.
Yeah, me too.
Being divorced 2 times and to meet the love of my life that really has been a man that I never thought could ever exist.
They say they do exist.
And so I said a mom of 7 living children, but my husband also has 7 children that are living.
So you
So
14.
I'm a mom now of 14. Yes, I am.
That lady got a husband and 14 kids.
I've got 14 total kids.
Nah.
I'm very blessed.
So no, you really don't have 14. You have 15.
I have 15.
Yeah, because
one is with God.
That's it. But he's still your son, though.
Always and forever.
Always.
My sun shines.
That's it. So how many grandkids do you have?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. There's Leilani. I have 3 in Mexico. Alaria has 3. My oldest, Danielle. Justice has 1. Hassani has 1. And I have 1 that will be born tomorrow. So that's 9. And I have 1 that's going to be born tomorrow. That will make 10 grands.
Oh, wow. Goodness. Whew. Okay. She got a plate full. So what I wanted to speak with you about is cancer.
Cancer.
Being a cancer survivor. Tell me a little bit about your story on how did you find out that you had cancer, and then we'll go through your journey.
Okay. Well, first of all, I actually went to the doctor because I was not feeling well. My stomach was really bothering me. I'd been going through a whole lot. My dad had passed away from neuroendocrine cancer. I had been taking care of him. In between him going to chemo, he would come and stay with me and my husband, and we would care for him. It was a lot, juggling, still working, still taking care of the business, still, paying bills, being mom, all of the things, but there was nothing that could stop me from caring for my dad, And so I dug deep to make sure that that happened. Is something that I've always wanted to do, being that I didn't always get an opportunity to be with my dad when I was younger, because he and my mom wasn't married. They had been middle school, high school sweethearts, dated all throughout, and they went to college. They still dated. And then, of course, the college thing happened, and he decided to do his thing, and he began seeing somebody else, and they got pregnant. My mom was pregnant. He proposed to my mom, and my mom said, hell no. I'm not getting ready to marry you because you a cheater. And so she did not, and he ended up marrying my bonus mom, and I have twin sisters. I have another sister that was birthed by her, so I have 3 sisters by my dad, and then I have an older brother by my dad. He lives in California. Okay. So yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone, and yeah, that's that.
So when you said we're gonna go back to the original question, but when you said your dad had cancer,
my dad did have cancer. He had neuroendocrine cancer, and it is a cancer that will show up so many places. Man, that was a battle. Henrietta, I tell you, like he'll beat it in one area, it show up somewhere else. So first it showed up in his prostate, and he beat that. And then it showed up on his liver, and he beat that. And then it showed up somewhere else on his stomach, and he beat that. Then it was in his intestines, and he beat that. Then it was lesions on his brain, and it looked like he was beating that because the lesions wasn't there. And we knew that the lesions were there because my bonus mom called me, and she was like, something's going on with your dad because he's forgetting things and he's talking weird. My dad was very intelligent. And so my husband and I got in the car, and we went to go and see. I said, we got to go see what's going on for myself. And so when I got there, he wasn't himself. We went to the doctor. The doctor did x-rays and all of that, and he was like, he walked in the room and he said, there's nothing we could do. I don't see him, and this was his primary care, I don't see him surviving past 3 days. Oh, wow. And I say, you do not have the authority to tell us that. I trust God. And so we end up going to Lake Charles, to the hospital there. And long story short, Dad ended up living a few months after that. But after Dad died of neuroendocrine cancer, and he was buried, and all, God woke me up, had already given me pink on purpose, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I remember him being the last day that he was alive. It was Memorial Day weekend. And I remember his health declining throughout that day. Because when we first got there, he was awake and conscious of what was going on. And then by midday, he couldn't even get up out the bed on his own. And by the time right before he expired, he couldn't even talk. And so I watched the decline, but I was on the phone with the planning team, and I was like, I don't think that I could do this. When he could still speak, I said, I don't think I could do this. I'm sitting on the phone with the planning team, and he started saying something, and I said, Daddy, I couldn't really understand him. And I told him to hold on, and I said, Dad, what's going on? What's wrong? What do you want? You have to go to the restroom? And he said, do it. And it didn't ding right then because it was so much going on. But when I reflected back, I'm like, he told me to do it because he heard me talking about the event, and I said that I couldn't do it. And so it gave me the push that I needed to push through and have it that first year. And it was 41 days after my dad, had passed.
41 days. So you originally started doing pink on, for those of you who don't know, Pink on Purpose is Malaiika's brand, and every year she throw events for
women empowerment and our cause that we support women with breast cancer. And I was not a woman with breast cancer when I started this event.
Yeah, that's what I. So you basically,
God woke me up out my sleep.
Okay, then wait. You had a dream.
I had a dream.
Okay.
I had a dream, and I woke up, and all I heard was Pink on Purpose. And every time I would wake up, my husband can vouch for this, I would get up, and I would go in the office, and I would pull out this journal, and I would write what God gave me. And for about 2 years, I was just sitting on those things. And I didn't know what it meant. And I said, God, show me what I'm supposed to do with this. I had slogans for T-shirts. I had a whole event plan. I didn't even know what this event was going to be about or what to do. I didn't know that this was going to be a brand. All I knew is that whatever Pink on Purpose was, I had to do it. That's all I knew. And I trusted God the whole way to give me every single thing. And when I tell you he gave me every single thing, from me not having enough money to host the event to it being the event. It's like my dad lived through this event. When he said do it, all of the provisions was made for it, all the way down to the decorator who had sold all of her stuff. And she heard about my vision. I say, Miss Rose, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what to do. And she said, let me tell you, the Holy Spirit told you to do that. And she said, I don't want you to worry about nothing for your decorations. I don't want you to worry about anything. And she said, tell me what your vision is. Wow. And I told her what I wanted and the colors and what I saw. And when I tell you everything that I saw is what she did. Is what she did. But fast forward, my obedience in having this event, I'm so glad that I was obedient to God and actually did and pushed through, though it was heavy and I really didn't want to. And it seemed like although good things was happening, people was like, come on, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we got you, and they was pushing me, and I was still like heavy. I just lost my dad. Like, I was heavy. Yeah. It was like 5 months. My dad passed in May. I didn't celebrate my birthday that year because it was just too heavy. Everybody tried to celebrate my birthday, but it just didn't feel like my birthday. And then my dad, my event was in October. And so once I had that event, 41 days later, I was diagnosed with cancer.
That's what I was going to get to. I wanted to find out. 41 days.
41 days. And so last year, after I had surgery, my first surgery, after I had the final surgery, and I was told that I was cancer free. Me and a couple of my friends.
Yeah. I want to ask you, I want to back up. So what kind of cancer was you diagnosed with 41 days after?
Multiple endocrine neoplasma 2. And so I had a type of cancer that the beauty in it is it's not likely. I did a genetics testing, and it's not likely to come back. However, when they checked my genetics, I had some type of stem that would cause tumors for thyroid cancer. And so they began to take precautions for that, and they suggested that I have a surgery. And I refused the surgery because the surgery does not guarantee that you won't get cancer. And basically what I was advised by one of the doctors is, if it's going to come, it's going to come. The surgery is a precaution, but that don't mean there's people that had the surgery and they still got the cancer. So I trust God. So if he got me through what I went through, he can get me through anything. And I'm going to say this. I call it God's little winks. I say he winked at me.
Okay.
Because when I got diagnosed, I didn't go to the doctor for that. I went to the doctor because my nerves was bad and I internalized things, right? And so I had a stomach ulcer. Like my stomach was hurting me so bad, and I went to the doctor, scheduled an appointment, and they realized I had an ulcer. And she said, "When was your last mammogram?" And I told her, and she said, "You know what? We're gonna do all the things." And I'm like, "What is all? Like, what are you talking about?" She scheduled lab, she scheduled a mammogram, she scheduled colonoscopy, she scheduled everything. Okay, A1C testing to make sure I wasn't, diabetic. Every test that you could think of, she screened to test it. She said, "You have to live." And I'm like, "Why is this woman telling me this?" And my mammogram that I was scheduled came back irregular. And they said that's normal because you got thick breast tissue. Well, went back again for a second mammogram, and then they did an ultrasound and a biopsy. And I believe Pam and them spoke about the biopsy, the needle, and the breast that pulls out the tissue.
The two
and
people standing up on the ladder and holding you down.
It does hurt. And so had that, but while I was on the table, the biopsy machine stopped. I'm on the table, one arm behind me, needle in my breasts in an awkward position, one doctor on my left, a nurse on my right, holding my hand, an ultrasound tech watching the x-rays, another support nurse telling me what to do, and I don't know what the other person was in the room for.
Right.
Nobody had to hold me down. I was just there, and she was holding my hand, and they knew I wasn't going to move. But I'm there, and I'm like, oh, my God, like just counting in my brain, like they say this don't hurt, but it hurts. But, it's going to be over soon. It's going to be over soon. So I was just praying, and all of a sudden I'm hearing the machine making the noises. And I know it probably wasn't as loud as I remember it being, but it was amplified because I was afraid.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the noise stopped. And I thought I was tripping. And the doctor said, "The machine stopped." Why did the machine stop? And the ultrasound, I looked over and the ultrasound nurse said, "I don't know. Why did the machine stop?" And the other nurse said, "Oh my God, the machine stopped." And I just started crying. And then what seemed like forever, the machine started back up.
So they never did find out why
it never happened before, Henrietta. I want you to follow me here. It never happened before. And I was pissed. I'm like, they should have checked this machine. Like, I'm already unnerved, okay?
Right, I know you was.
And I'm like, they should have checked this machine. Oh my goodness, this makes no sense. I don't want to go to Auschwitz anymore. Just all of this stuff. But what I didn't realize, that I do know now, that if that machine would not have stopped, that cancer wouldn't have been found. And let me tell you why. The biopsy was successful because he continued the biopsy. He got the tissue that he needed. He sent it off to the lab. It came back no cancer. He said, something don't feel right.
Okay.
And I would always wear my graphic tees. They would see, Jesus girl. They would see all kinds of Christian sayings and stuff on my shirts. And so everybody knew that I was a believer. And they would talk to me as such, even my doctors, right? I even had a doctor pray with me, which was a beautiful thing. Never happened before. Never happened before. But after the machine stopped and he sent off, I will never forget Dr. Reddy. He sent off and it came back. He said, no. And my oncologist came in and she said, I spoke with the radiologist. He is still not comfortable. He wants to make sure. So this is going to be different. But we want you to understand what we're doing. We want to give you surgery to remove the lump, send it to the lab, and get it tested. I said, how recommended is it? She said, highly. Or you could take a chance and just leave it there. And I asked a bunch of questions, and they were able to answer my questions. And it's like, I could not say no. And so they scheduled the surgery, they removed it, they sent it, and it came back in stage 2. Had that machine would not have stopped, I would have been living with stage 2 cancer inside of me for an entire year. And my story would have been different.
Yeah, it would have been very much different.
It would have been different.
So how many rounds of radiation did you have?
So originally, my doctor told me that I had to have over 50 rounds of chemo and 20 something rounds of radiation. And I don't know what happened in between 4 visits. But when I came back and sat with the main oncologist, Dr. Russell, amazing. He sat there and he asked me how I felt.
Right.
And how have I been dealing with the diagnosis? Did I have any questions, concerns? And he grabbed my hand and he smiled. And I started crying. And he said, you could wipe those tears. He said, because who do you believe? And I raised my eyebrows. And he said, I'm looking at your shirt. Who do you believe? I say, God. He said, we're going to do 5 rounds of radiation and get you out of here. So I did 5 rounds of radiation. But before that, I had to do one more surgery. So they did a second surgery, which normally doesn't happen. But they had to go in and clean out every residue that was left because the first one was a specimen to get tested. So I had to get the rest out, and then they removed 7 lymph nodes. So I was really, really sore.
Wow.
And so then they have to watch you so you don't get lymphedema. I had to go to physical therapy. I still have a lot of pain. But all I could do is reflect back that it could have turned out differently.
So did you get to you're not at the 5-year, I know the other ladies was telling me about the 5-year.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm barely a year. December makes 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Since I've been diagnosed. So in December, it would be 1 year. And actually, I did not start my hormone replacement until like March, so it won't be like until March that I'll make a year of the replacement. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 2030 is the predicted time that I'll be.
So do cancer, the old folks like to say, run in your family. Do anybody in your family have, besides you and your dad?
Yes, my mom's sister died of breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
That's my mom's only sister. My grandfather on my dad's side had pancreatic cancer. My grandfather had cancer. My dad's sister had cancer. So yeah.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
Do you So now, how often do you go to the doctor now?
I go to the doctor at least 2 or 3 times a month. So literally almost every week I have an appointment. So I see my primary care once a month.
Okay, all right.
I see my cancer. So I have a team of doctors for the cancer. So I have a radiologist.
Okay.
I have a hematologist that tests my blood and watch my blood count and everything there. And then I have an oncologist. And then I have the team that administers the infusion, which is the treatment that provides a barrier to keep that particular cancer from coming back. I get injections in my stomach.
How often you have to get those?
Once a month. Once a month. As a matter of fact, I just had it 2 days ago.
So did you have any? I know the other ladies were saying that they had some side effects. Do you have the some of the side effects that they have?
I do. Sometimes I'm super tired. I don't have lymphedema, praise God. But I do have the fatigue. I do sometimes have a little tingling. The area is still sensitive, which they told me it would be, for a couple of years.
Oh wow.
Like if somebody barely elbowed me there, it's still like really it hurts. My bones are softer because of the treatment plan that I'm on, so I have to be very careful about falls and climbing and things like that because it could be very detrimental to the healing process. And so I take large dosages of vitamin D and calcium daily so that my bones will not become soft and disintegrate. Because if that were to happen, then I would have to be on a treatment plan for like osteoporosis. That's like people with bone cancer, and I don't want that to happen.
So, like, do you have to? I know some other ladies were saying you have to take Claritin and some of the side effects, or I know Pam said sometimes she falls down a lot. Like, do you have any of those side effects?
I try that whenever I'm feeling weak to make sure that I'm sitting. So it's like I'm real attentive to my body. Right. So sometimes I feel like I'm going to be a little weak, but when I feel like that, I make sure that I'm sitting, or I'll remain sitting, or I'll get my husband to help me up or something like that. And then other times I feel fine. But what I've learned to take precautions and do things like I don't really wear heels. Right. A lot unless I'm just going to take pictures. But like to wear heels and go places in heels, I've just opted to wear cool sneakers and really pretty slides and sandals instead. Right. And if I am wearing a heel, I try to wear a wedge or a real chunky heel that's not really, elevated and high because I don't need to fall.
No, not at all. So I want to ask you a little bit about your Pink on Purpose brand.
Okay.
How long you said 41 days, 41 days of chemo. 41 days after your daddy died.
Yeah. So
that means Pink on Purpose was built like within. So the dream came within 2 years.
Yeah.
The plan, the dream, and then you start planning.
Yep.
Okay, come on now. That's how I did with
my podcast. And
then
I started planning. And when I started planning, it's like kind of like you did with your podcast. Yeah, you get an idea, and then you start writing something else down, and you would call me and you say, okay, this is what I want to do. And then you get to planning some more. So it was
not
like
to cut you off, but it's like with me, it's like whenever I was getting to the point of even doing a podcast, I don't think I ever told you this. So behind the daycare where I was working at is a T-shirt. What's it, embroidery and all that T-shirt shop. And it's ATM. Shout out to ATM T-shirts. And John is her name is Tip. They call her Tip.
I love her.
Excuse me. They call her Tip, but I call her Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tip.
And I was in that shop after I went to the podcast in Brooklyn and all that. I always tell that story. And Jonathan say, Miss Henrietta, you ever thought about doing the podcast? And I said, yeah, but I don't know if I could get. I might have to get some. I think it's like somebody to film me. He say, well, you know your sister-in-law do that? And I look at him and I say, my sister-in-law, not the sister-in-law I got. Because I think
talking about Clarissa.
Next question, please. But anyway.
But he told me. So he told me he couldn't wait. Jonathan was setting it up. He was trying to set that thing up because he came to me and he said, Miss Henrietta need to start a podcast.
He told me that day.
Yeah. And she gonna call you. And that's one of the reasons why I started.
And I say yes and stuff. And no shade toward the girl, but I'm just saying. So, because he was saying your sister-in-law, and I'm looking at him like, my sister-in-laws don't do that like that. But I ain't say nothing to him. And then I said, he said, but Tamu, Malaiika, or something, whatever your name, one of them names he said. And I said, okay. So I just began to I would call you about little stuff, and then I guess that was just the God leading us to be a team, TTP, and everything. I just kept. And I was like, I don't know what's up, and I said, well, let me call Tim and let me ask her this, and let me ask her that. And then after that, we ended up what? We partners. Now we work together. We business partners, people.
There you go. Y'all better ask somebody.
So
TTP, baby.
So it's like when you get ready. I said that to say this, y'all. Not to talk about no sister now, because I don't really care about all that. And I said that to say this. When you ask, when God give you a vision, you may, when you're not, sometimes you might be like, I can pink on purpose. And I started writing down stuff. I started doing my homework. And I started doing some of the same things that you was doing. And nothing comes overnight.
It doesn't. Let me say this. I heard, and my pastor is so wise. You know, we have radio show. We have, he always pouring. He pushed Alyssa to do the book with 3 parts and all of the things. Elissa.
Oh, you say Elisa? Oh, y'all, she calls herself Elisa. Elisa. Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's that person that he listens, and then when you say you want to do something, he's the pusher. He's gonna push you something to show up, and it's like, don't say you want to do something unless it's
you gonna stand on that.
You gotta stand on business because he's gonna push you. And so, shout out to Apostle Keith Richard. And so, I watched how he pushed other people, you know, and he said something that was so profound that has stuck with me, and it was so beautiful, and it's real. He said that when God gives you a vision, he makes the provision. He's not going to give you a vision without already making the provision. So sometimes we get this idea to do something, i.e. vision, right? And then we worry about how it's going to happen. When all we have to do is take the first step. That's it.
That's what I did.
Once you take the first step, then a door open, and then you keep walking. You can't sit. You can't sit. And that's why a lot of times I believe, and that's what Pink on Purpose is all about, is to keep people walking. Get up, girl.
Right. You got this. You can do this.
You can do it. Get up.
Right.
Here's a paper towel. Wipe your eyes. Put on some lip gloss. Get dressed. Look like the money you want to make. Stop looking like you'd rather go fishing. Even if you're not making it, look like you're making it. Make yourself feel good, because God didn't build no junk. Right. So start walking and don't stop. As a matter of fact, start jogging. Meet every person that you can. Tell them who you are. Ask questions. Inquire. Read.
Right.
Tell God what you want. He gonna open the door. He gonna open the door. If somebody would have told me right here, right now, that my husband and I would have a film and media company, full service. Yes, I believe what God can do. But there was a place that I was in before Nick and I met that I was trying to figure out if I was going to ever breathe again.
And now.
Where do I go from here? You know, a dead end marriage. Don't have the home we bought anymore. Starting over from scratch again. You know, my daughter had gotten pregnant, had her first baby, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
You know, and I just wasn't in that ideal place. I had gotten messed over by someone, had an entire summer camp planned. Totally messed up. You know, when somebody pick your brain and want you to work for them, and you lay it all out and use all your knowledge and wisdom, and you do all the work for them, and you get no gratitude
No
for what you've
gratitude.
done. Not just that,
They start to steal your ideas. Y'all ever
but
had
they
somebody
steal
try to
your
do that?
money.
Your money. I heard about that. I heard my god sister have been through something like that with a bad business deal.
I wanted to give up.
Yeah, they,
I wanted to give up. I worked an entire summer doing what I loved. And as a matter of fact, I remember you walking in the door and say, "This is where you at?"
I remember
Remember
exactly
that, Cam?
yeah, I remember exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
I got good memory. Yeah, I
Yes,
remember.
ma'am. And I will tell you this. It almost had me in a state of depression, but God.
God is good.
He's so good, girl.
God is good, amazing, and true. And sometimes we want to sometimes we want to rush things, and then sometimes we want to start losing faith, and then sometimes we got these people that they want to shatter your dreams, and some people want to steal your dreams.
They do, but you know what? God didn't tell me to do that with him.
Thank you.
He didn't tell me. I was just doing stuff. I was doing stuff for what I thought. I wasn't. God didn't speak to me and tell me to do that. You know, and I truly believe that's why God's hand came off of it, and you know, I had to forgive because what I realized, the further I dug deeper in my faith and began to learn more and understand that purpose, God already assigned a purpose to each of us, right?
Okay.
We all have purpose, and that was not mine.
That wasn't yours.
That wasn't mine.
Like I wanted to I desperately, for myself, I wanted to work with kids and do this and do that, but when I sit back now and I think about it, that wasn't my purpose. That was some other, I'm gonna say people's, because I work for some people's. I wasn't at one company, one place, one facility. I wasn't just employed. I have been doing daycare ever since my son and my daughter was going to elementary school. And my daughter is grown, married with 2 children. So a lot of people, we touching on a lot of stuff, but a lot of people need to hear this. Your dreams and your aspirations and what God got planned for you, live it out. You're going to get all type of negative. You're going to get a lot of good. I got a lot of negative, more negative than I got good. So when I started on my journey of doing what God wanted me to do, what I asked God for, I got a lot of feedback from people. But I already had that answer that they need. So I'm doing this.
So what type of feedback you got?
So this is, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about
it. At my last employment, I decided to get my own in-home child care. Okay?
Which is good.
Well, people don't see that. People want, it's this old saying that some people want to see you do good, but not as good as you. Some people would rather you borrow from them than to make it yourself.
I'm so glad you are going that direction because that's what Pink on Purpose is all about.
Yeah, and I just keep on looking at purpose.
Put a pause.
Purpose. I mean, your eyes are
put
here,
a pause on that
your
mentality.
mouth is here, but I just keep looking at purpose. So,
even those things that happen that's not so good has purpose. But it's not your purpose.
That's not mine.
But it has purpose.
It had purpose.
Even those negative things that happen, it has a purpose.
Yeah.
It has a purpose.
Yeah.
It strengthens us. It helps us to understand certain things. We then know what to do or what not to do. What we like, what we don't like.
That's it.
What we want or what we don't want.
And then what I think we have the right to say where I want to, do I want to work here or do I want to work for myself? And with me,
That's okay.
I before I do anything, regardless to the outer appearance of what people see of me, I already been to talk to God about it, so I already know how to move about it. So I'm gonna play the cards that was dealt to me by God, and I don't too much really be caring what man or woman say, because when I ask God for what I want, He's gonna make a plan so that I can live out my purpose in life. Now, my purpose in life is to do some things that I want to do that I prayed and asked God for. Yeah. And I'll be grateful for all the people that have helped me along the way, whether it's a job, this, that, the third. But their dreams ain't my dreams, and their purpose ain't my purpose.
It's not.
Right. And it just
I'm glad you realized that.
To be all the way a buck with it, they shade of pink may not be my shade of pink.
I just want to, first of all, I want to congratulate you. I'm so proud of you because you pushed through.
Oh, yeah.
The statistics. I will never forget
You've been knowing me a
you
long
calling
time.
me and you said, I thought about something. I thought about, I'm known as Henrietta, that girl who cuss a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm known as Henrietta, oh, she got them hands. Mm-hmm. Henrietta, she a hustler. Mm-hmm. Like, you're known for all those things. You say, I want to be known. When I leave this earth, I want my grandbabies to be proud of me. And I never forgot that.
Right. When you interviewed me on your podcast, I said that.
You said
and
that.
That's the truth.
You said that. And that stuck with me. And if there was anything that made me, if anybody asked me why did you choose to work with her, it was because of that statement. From that statement is, I want to be known for something else. I want to do something that make my grandbabies proud. I want to do something that I am proud of myself for. It did something to me. It built a fire inside of me that I felt like whatever I have to do to pour into Henrietta, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, when God gives me what I need, okay? When God gives me what I need, my picture, okay, that's gonna run, that's full. I have enough to spread in all of my cups. And my cups are my daughter, her husband, her children, my son's daughter, and even though I don't get to see my son's son, him as well.
Yes.
So pouring into his cup, even though I don't see him, pouring is blessings, asking God for favor, asking for protection, asking for shield, asking for amendment of our relationship. See, I'm still pouring in his cup. So,
and he's going to see you.
I know
that's what I hear. I when you said that,
I know that.
You don't see him right now, but he's going to see you.
That's it.
No, he gonna see you.
Oh, he is.
He gonna see you, whether it's on the TV screen. He gonna see you. He gonna read about you. He gonna see you. And he gonna say, "That's my grandmother." Okay. And at one given point in time, nobody gonna be able to stop him from being able to be with you
at all. So with me, the reason what made me change my life and want to become a better version of me is first for me.
Yes.
Second, for my grandkids. And the reason why I wanted to make a shift in my atmosphere and ask God to shift it for me, stand before the shift.
Yeah.
So if he's standing before it, if God be for you, who can be against you?
Come on.
So when he gets the shifting things and turning my life around, okay? I want my grandchildren to be able to say, my grandmother was a boss, but she was a worker before she was a boss.
Yeah.
So in order for you to have So in order for me to have anything in life,
Gotta work.
I gotta work.
That's an example. You laid out an example, a blueprint for them that you don't just get anything without working for it.
You don't. So with me, when I see pink on purpose, that's it. That's all. That a lot fall under that category just for me. Just your dream. That's your brand. But pink on purpose
is actually our brand. So it's a brand for women.
Oh, okay.
So although it is, I am the founder of Pink on Purpose. Pink on Purpose is a brand for all women to wear. That's why sometimes I sell shirts, but I see women who need some encouragement. And I tell them, when you put this shirt on, I want you to understand. Pink is a color that is made from red and white. White is pure, okay? Red, I think of fire, right? You put the two together, it makes this beautiful color pink, right? And then when you do something on purpose, that's for real, for real.
For real.
Okay? It's not by accident.
It's on purpose.
It's on purpose. It's not, I'm not timid when I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
On purpose. And that makes a statement. And so I have multiple events on purpose. And all of these events is to show women that we need to connect on purpose. We need to share resources on purpose. We need to love on purpose. Right. We need to combine with business because we're better together. So if you struggling with your business and you struggling with your business, why you can't come together and make something great? Because you know this and you know that and you have this and you have that. You take your little with her little, put it together, and y'all got a lot. But we don't see that concept. But Arabians, Chinese, all of the other ethnicities, they know how to come together. But our black women have a problem coming together.
They don't.
Have a problem coming together. And so Pink on Purpose is to make a statement, is to demonstrate what we should do. So it started out with a smaller group of women that understand the concept, and they all agree that they are going to do all of those things on purpose. If this young lady needs a little help, I'm going to give them a hand. I'm going to support them in their events. I'm going to support them with whatever they're selling. That's why I have vendors at my event. Hey, you need to meet this person. Right. They have a business. There's business representation. But then there's people in the audience that own businesses. I give them a platform. It's different speakers, different times. They can make different presentations. One thing they're going to do is they're going to pray. There are going to be some tears shed because we are going to be vulnerable and truthful and honest, right? And then you're going to connect. And those who need to rebuild will have an opportunity to rebuild because nothing beats a failure but a try.
That's it.
So if you're at a point that you're stagnant or you about to give up or you have no direction, you trying to figure the next step out. Or maybe you haven't even gotten that thing off the ground, but you don't know what the first step is. Get in the room at Pink on Purpose because there's going to be somebody there who is going to be able to help you.
Yeah. It's like a sisterhood.
It's a sisterhood, definitely.
That's what we need. If a Pink on Purpose event like that, because it was like a sisterhood.
Yeah, it's bigger, but yes.
Usually, come on now, y'all. I'm going to preach to y'all. Y'all know I like to talk. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Usually when us, maybe some of you all, go to a event, a party, or you get invited somewhere, when you usually walk up or walk in and no one really knows you or know of you, you get side-eyed.
Yeah.
You get wide-eyed. You get whispers. I mean, let's just be real. We know how they do. But when I went to Malaiika's birthday party, I ain't get none of that.
Oh, you probably got a few hugs.
I got hugs. I got everybody. Hey, Them people was walking up and they probably say, "Ooh, she mean as a motherfucker," because I was like, "Huh?" Because that's not what I'm used to. Not saying I'm always used to negative.
Yeah.
But usually when you go somewhere, it wasn't like, who that is?
You had prepared yourself.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they say, nobody wants to say. They was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
And probably ask what's your name.
No, I know you don't cuss, but I'm going to cuss for you. Bitch, if pink on purpose like that, I'm going to be over there. But with my pink on purpose something on, you say put the lip.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so because I will be there. I like to, now that I'm older, I love to be around myself. I love to be home with myself.
Yeah. Me too, girl.
I like to ride by I like to do everything by myself unless I'm with my daughter.
Yeah.
That's my ghetto twin. Oh my God.
Shout out to Danisha.
Yeah, Danisha. So I like to be by myself. My daughter even said, "Mom, you need to get out of this house sometime." I always say this: boring people live a long time. I like to be to myself. But when I went to your birthday party, it was like no strangers was in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that over the years, some doors closed and new ones opened. Okay. And God was able to show me people that really care. Yes, so there's a difference in somebody who know you that say, "Oh, that's my girl," because they enjoy, you make them laugh, or, she always pay for me to get in the club, or, things like that. But, or she got a car and she's going to pick me up and bring me where I have to go.
What's convenient for people.
What's convenient for them. But when people see your heart and God connect you to people that have the same heart as you, I didn't think that it could be at that capacity. Now, I do have friends that I've been friends with for over 44 years. And I've had some of my other friends that said, more current friends, that's like, how do you even be friends with somebody that long? Like, how long have y'all been friends? Since when?
I ain't got nobody I've been friends with that long.
Great. But it's like God connected me with specific people. But now there were people that was in my life that's no longer, quote unquote, in my life. Not to this capacity. But the people you saw at my birthday party, these are people that I can call any of them at that table right now. Stop, drop, and roll. They come and see us.
Because the men was gentlemen and the women was acting like grown ass women, like hey, well, I'm not used to that when you go out, when you in a room with strangers. Now, I did know Jonathan.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Did I know anybody else? No. But I wanted to just say that if that event is going to be like that, that's going to be lovely.
It will be just like that. It's like my party. Some of the people that you saw there, most of the people that you saw there will be there. And then you will see some additional people. So we're expecting, I scaled it down this year because there was a lot going on, and I chose to regroup, make it a little bit smaller and more intimate, because next year it's going to be much bigger. So last year it was about a little over 200 people there. The year before it was like 150. We scaling down to 100, 125 this year. Next year we're going for about 400.
Okay, so y'all hear that? So Pink on Purpose is going up November the 15th. Like Patricia said, it's going up. So I personally want to thank you for doing that for women, because you're bringing us sisterhood together. We ain't got too many people out here making noise for a sisterhood.
Let me just say this too before we close. Girl, it's so odd, and I say that God has a sense of humor, because for me, my last choice was to do anything with women, because women so catty, and my nerves too bad for that. Like, I am zero tolerance. So most of my friends would be guys. You knew my friends was guys. I like Terry. I would hang with my ex and all his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I would be with the guys, and that's when I would be comfortable playing spades, playing the video games, chilling at home. My kids, that was me, and so I got in the phase that I would go to the club and things like that, and that didn't work out well for me. That didn't work out well for me. So now I'm at a place in my life that I'm trying to do what God told me to do, and so I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, God, you have a sense of humor, because I did not want to be around all these women. And now I'm doing events to attract women. But it's not what I wanted to do. So that's how I know I'm walking in purpose.
Right.
This is not something I would have chosen to do.
Right. And God knows best. He knows what He wants you to do. He knew what He wants you to do before you was even born. So I just want to thank you, because a lot of people, I mean, I can't speak for everybody. Some people just like to go anywhere and hang around anybody and do anything. But with Pink on Purpose, if it's like a super extra version of your party, I'm in there.
I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, I'm going to be in there. And if you all want to find out about Pink on Purpose, Malaiika can give them the information, Malaiika.
Yes, the name is spelled Malaiika. So Tamu Malaiika, that's Tamu with two O's, Tamoo. Malaiika, Mala, two I's, Ka. Last name Menina. You can find me on all social media platforms. The link to my link tree is in the bio, and it leads to all my podcasts. It leads to events. It leads to inspiration. All roads lead to success. It leads to God, because God is in my heart, and He's first and foremost in everything I do.
And one more time before I go again, I want to personally thank you, because we
Don't start.
I ain't gonna start. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna be a truth teller. Malaiika is my manager. She runs the Truth Tellin Podcast. She's also my photographer. She's everything. And I personally want to thank her and her husband over yonder for all the things that they do for me. For all as a team. When you start to work on things that you know that are cut out and designed from God, everything is going to work out. You got to keep the faith, keep these people out of your ear. And when you start praying to God, and He's going to give you, just like Malaiika said earlier, He's going to give you everything you need. When I first thought of doing this, and I doing a podcast, and I told my son-in-law, and then I started to do my interviews on forgiveness, and then I went into Brooklyn, and then I came back, and before I went to Brooklyn, I said I wanted to do it, and when I came back, I said I want to do it. It took me literally a year. During that time, I would call Tamu, and mind you, I've been knowing her a long ass time. I was 21 when I had my first child. I've been knowing her since I was 21. I'm 54 now. 30 years. Yeah, so whenever God starts setting you up, accept and know who to accept when they come your way, because everything that come your way ain't of God. You're going to know. And I am truly blessed to have y'all in my life. I love y'all for real. Like, truly blessed. Ain't no bullshit. This ain't for the cameras. This ain't for none of that. Because you very seldom gets or get connected with somebody, because you have a podcast and I have a podcast, and we ain't what they call it, tug of war, and they're trying to outdo one. We support each other.
Yes.
And I want you all to know that I really appreciate you all. And to all of you out there, if you need pictures, managing, coaching, filming, podcasting, Fresh Revelation, they got you.
T-shirts, swag.
T-shirts, whatever you need. Fresh Revelation, Malaiika and Nick Menina, Melina, and the Nina, and the Wink Wink. They got you. So y'all get at Nick and Malaiika Menina with the them people. Y'all better get at them, because it's guess what? It doesn't cost as much as you think it does. If you need a podcasting room, you have that. If you need somebody to film your podcast, and you ain't got to be in Baton Rouge, they got you. Yeah. You don't need to bring nothing but yourself, and that's it. You got your spot. So I just wanted to tell you all, thank you, and I want to tell the people out there, when you pray and ask God for something, live your dreams. And that's it for this segment of the Truth Tellin Podcast with Miss Keeping It Real. Do your shit and don't let nobody stop you.